So Octopath Traveler, as the name implies, there are octopuses.
Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome back to Wooper Watch. It's me, your host, Mr. Gengar, and I'm here with my co-host.
What's up? Hi, guys. Cyan here. I will say real quickly before anything happens or transpires, we are officially on Spotify now. You may have noticed if you're on our Discord servers and or Twitter, or you're just following us literally anywhere, we're now on Spotify now. Also,
if you're listening on Spotify, I love you.
Yeah. Also, hello to the people who are watching this brand new episode now on Spotify. If you listen now exclusively over there, hello guys. How you doing?
Hi, Spotify people.
Hello.
Leave a. Is there a likes?
There's a rating system or whatever.
Leave us a 5-star rating, please, and it's following on there, right?
Yeah, you can follow and then 5-star rate.
Follow us now.
Yeah. Do that.
This is not a request.
Oh, hey, whoa, hey, you can't go demanding shit from people already. We just started.
We need to pop off, Cyanize. We need to pop off. We need the numbers. We need the numbers.
Okay, but before we get the numbers, we're going to have to give the audience a reason to have us pop off, you know? You can't just ask for it. You got to, you got to give them a little something, a motivator. AKA this episode that we are talking about right now.
Or we just do the aggressively short news segment.
Oh, yeah, the aggressively short news segment. Dude, oh my god, nothing happened. This New Year.
It's January. Slow month.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's the Logan Paul shit, but we're not talking about that. That's a whole cesspool, so...
We're recording this at 9:42 in the afternoon. Do we just want to talk about why real quick? Do we just want to rip the Band-Aid off? You want to tell your story?
Sure, yeah. I'm not tired, but you are. Okay, so before this podcast, actually, I was playing Metal Gear Revengeance. I will spoil it right now. It's going to be my next video. I'm kind of taking a break, but I have been playing Metal Gear Revengeance, and there's going to be a whole freaking video for it. It's probably going to be like 30 to 40 minutes long, probably. I'm going full in on it. I'm really excited. Yeah, I did... Oh my goodness. So I thought I was going to finish today, right? And I did. I did finish. And fuck the senator.
4 hours late to the recording.
I didn't think the senator was going to be as hard as he ended up being, okay? You had to do some frame perfect shit. You had to man, I can't even describe the fight unless you've played the game. You would know, but and just before that, you had to fight Sam or whatever, and I had to figure him out for an hour too. And then the senator was an extra 2 hours. So I don't know if I suck at video games or just I don't know. But the game is amazing, don't get me wrong, but holy fucking shit, it took me way longer than I thought it was going to take, but I can't wait to replay it again.
Okay, from my point of view, I thought Cyan was, ghosting me or something. Because here I am. It's, my first day of school. I head back and I'm yo, whatever we do. We doing this at, 5 or whatever. And then I kind of go on my own little tangent. ADHD energy hit. And I was like, oh, I should work out. So I ended up walking on the treadmill at the gym for, an hour. And I'm texting Cyan, hey, man, be good for, 5:30. But I need to stop and get some gas on the way home. I'll be back around then. Doesn't respond. I'm assuming he just read it and probably had to do some family stuff or whatever. So I'm like, you know what, sure, whatever, I'll just go and I'll just meet you about that time. So I'm heading home, whatever, I do my gas stuff, and I get back, and you're just not responding to any of my texts. I, call you, and then you're like, I'm playing video games. I'm trying to scroll up to the exact
playing video games.
I asked, what time are we thinking when I was still walking the treadmill, and you're like, whenever you get off. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get home, we're just going to do it. No, I'm sitting in my bed for 4 hours waiting for this man to message me back. Apparently he's been recording and didn't mention it for them all day.
I assumed I was going to finish by the time you got home.
You could have just said something.
Wait, you didn't have anything else to do while I was doing that?
Yes, I did, but I kept thinking any minute now he's going to call me. I probably could have played more Persona 4 Golden. I'm almost towards the end of it, but I'm at the edge of some big story events. So, like, I gotta wait for you because I don't know if you're gonna pop in at an unfortunate time and I gotta finish a cutscene.
That's hilarious.
I just wanted to rip the Band-Aid off right now because I know we're gonna dig into each other later if we don't do it now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, on to the actual news.
You know what? Like, I feel like we've been a nuisance to each other in one way or another, and I feel like I haven't had a time where I've been a nuisance to you at one point, so... You know, I'm going to take my W in strives because I did not get a W. Epic segue into the news segment. I did not get a W this Splatfest. The Splatfest did happen for Splatoon 3 Spicy.
Sweet sweep.
Okay, well, it's not sweep. Okay, it's not a
sweet victory.
Yeah, there you go. It's a sweet victory. It's not a sweep if you don't win all 5. Is it 5 or I forgot.
We do not care.
It's not a sweep if you don't win all categories, which Big Man did.
We do not care.
Okay, you can say that, but you're wrong. You didn't get a sweep. You got a sweet victory.
Sweep sounds right. It sounds correct. Okay.
It doesn't sound correct because it's not what happened. You can have this headcanon, Mystic, but you're not.
But it
you're
sounds
wrong.
good.
You're
it
just
sounds
wrong.
good. I don't care. I finally got my Splatfest win. I can live with this.
Yeah, you know, GG's. Just no, you did not get a sweep, and Sour and Spicy had 1 point in another category. So no, it was not a sweep.
We do not care.
Cool. Keep your headcanon to yourself. Please and thank you.
Okay, I just want to talk about this because we're actually going to get to this specific game later in the podcast. And I'll talk a little more about it when. Okay, I have had a million people ask me about this because for people who don't know, I'm like a big Skylanders nostalgia nerd. I literally have been playing the games on my channel all year. I have several of these figures on my desk. I just want to point out, the Skylanders leak that all these news outlets were tweeting about ago, where somebody went in a throwaway on the subreddit and was like, oh, we're getting a remaster with the first 3 games. No, it's fake. Listen, there's no evidence pointing to it to be true. Also, Swap Force being there makes literally no sense because it's a completely different art style than the first 2. And the screenshot showed the Xbox 360 version of Giants, not like the Wii U version. So all I'm saying is that the Skylanders leak with the collection, as much as I wish it was true, even though it kind of wasn't that great because they would have removed portal functions. Regardless, it's fake. I want to cry.
I got no idea what you're talking about. Anyway.
Basically, on the Skylanders subreddit, some guy made a burner account and pretended that he got some survey from Activision Blizzard. Where it was like, oh, there's Skylanders first collection or something. And it's like, it was supposed to be hyped up as the big HD 4K remaster, as if one of the games in the package wasn't already HD and could be played on 4K consoles. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't like it. It's fake.
Cool. Well, I mean, that is Reddit, so take it with a grain of salt.
Reddit moment.
Moving on. This was like beginning of the new year, so I find it funny how I said like, oh, there was nothing to talk about when there was something to talk about and I completely missed over it. I thought it'd be worth mentioning because we like Marvel sometimes.
To an extent.
Jeremy Renner. Fuck, I feel bad. I should have figured out how to pronounce his last.
You messed it up.
I'm sorry. Hawkeye's actor
It's too late.
got ran over by a sorry, that sounds so fucking mean. I should be laughing. Hawkeye's actor got
You
ran
should
over.
not be laughing.
Hawkeye's actor got ran over by a flower. No, stop laughing. No.
Stop laughing. Why are you laughing? No. Now you're making me laugh.
No.
Don't do this to me.
He's such a dick. Oh my god. Okay.
You're terrible.
Hawkeye's actor got hurt and his legs got messed up and he had to go through some extreme surgery and poor guy is not doing so well. I hope he feels better. And yeah, I'm going to stop thinking about him getting ran over because that's so funny to me.
Hawkeye in a wheelchair for the next Avengers movie, guys. Get ready for
it.
The newest Avenger, Hawkeye in a wheelchair. Like, I feel bad making these jokes, but at the same time, I for some reason do not.
I feel so bad because like the condition he's in right now is so serious and really critical, and then I'm just out here laughing because my brain just like read that and I was like
get well soon, dude. Get well soon.
Get well soon, my guy.
At least you got your own actual title show in time.
And it was actually decent compared to someone else.
Yeah, decent. That's
I
a
thought
word.
I personally thought it was decent. I should say
I wouldn't
that.
call it decent. I'd call it okay.
I feel like decent and okay are interchangeable.
Yeah,
Interchangeable.
okay, but I consider like okay to be like I guess a rung whatever, just like a rung lower than decent.
Fair,
Like I don't know.
fair.
I just thought it was okay.
Fair, fair. Anyway, moving on to the topic at hand. Mystic Gengar, you are the host. You're going to introduce this.
So today we're talking about underrated games. So just to clarify what underrated means. It basically means, I guess you could say, games that we don't feel get enough love. Whether it be like, oh, it's kind of faded from everyone's like memories, or like
Gex!
it's just sales numbers were very low, or just generally like forgotten under the radar games that just kind of don't get appreciated as much. Do not talk about Gex. Gex does not count. I'm not willing to let you count Gex.
Okay, well, I'm kind of mentioning Gex because this episode is like purely inspired by one of Scott the Waz's recent episodes from his channel. Yeah, no, sorry, we still podcast.
Please tell me you're not referring to the data design games. Please tell me you're not about to call some data design thing underrated, dude. Do not.
I'm not. No, but like, yeah, no, like, I know, guys, this is gonna be a crazy shocker, but sometimes we take ideas from other people and we use them because we are not original, and honestly, I can't think of anything original, so I'm sorry.
In terms of that Scott the Wise episode, real quick, I just want to throw this out there real quick. I was watching it, and when the slot car racing game came up, I had like a moment of like genuine, like I froze. Because that game, I used to play it at my grandma's all the time, and I thought it was terrible. I thought I was like, kind of like, I guess ungrateful, because, you know, they bought the game and all that, but I was like, wow, this is hot garbage. And the thing is, I think they still have the game. So I saw it in there, I was like, wait, that was by Data Design? It was like a jump scare. But that game is not underrated. It's actually terrible. Let's talk about some real underrated games.
Oh, hell
You want to
yeah.
go first?
Well, first off, like, I think you already mentioned it, but like, yeah, the definition of underrated and like
Underappreciated,
yeah. For those who don't know, real quickly, our definition for this episode, just like, well, according to the notes here, I just want to quote you. You fell off. You are not the shit anymore. You are not it, champ.
You're gone. You're faded from the public conscious. People talked about you for like a week tops, and you're gone.
You will not make Twitter headlines if you somehow came back. Well, maybe you will, but who knows? These also may include some games with low sales numbers and or did not perform that well. This doesn't include the entire franchise, because maybe some other games in the franchise did well, but not a particular game. It depends. And just some generally forgotten titles. You may hear some titles that you may have never heard of, and you may have heard a lot about these titles.
You realistically have heard about like all of these except one, except you probably just forgot about some of them.
Yeah. I feel like the majority of them, though, just based on our list, I think a lot of people are gonna know what they are. But
realistically, I feel like a lot of them fall into the category of you've heard of them, but you haven't played them.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess we should start. I have little categories here. Let's just pick one at random. Not actually random. It's the first one on the list. RPGs.
Oh, RPGs. Oh man, I love RPGs. Those are really cool.
Wow, crazy how that works. Anyway, you ever heard about this underrated game called Persona 5 Royal?
Huh, man. Yeah, dude. I remember when it almost got Game of the Year in 2017. I was like, man.
Dude, oh man, that's crazy.
Look at this hidden gem that came out of nowhere. Had no build up, no nothing. It was not backed up by a really high, publisher.
I know, right? Gosh, that's just disappointing.
It's not even owned by, the Blue Blur company at all. It's
how unfortunate, man. Jeez.
God.
I don't want to keep running with this bit. You just do your nomination first, please.
It's just so funny. Like, people are genuinely just being like, dude, Persona 5 is the greatest game I've ever played, and like it's trying to spout out things that no one's ever heard of before about the game. Be like, dude.
Here's the thing. I can justify putting Persona 3, 1, or either 2 variation as underrated. Okay, sure, you can make your case, but do not say it with 4 or 5. Do not.
Yeah, no, they're just too big.
Do not make this case in my comment section. I will go after you on my personal account, not the brand account.
it's mainstream. You can't really just be like, dude, underrated RPG. I always like just choke, like inaudibly choke whenever I see that title on like someone's video. It's so funny. Underrated.
I know, right?
Gym.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But you know what's not terrible? I'm trying to get you to go first. Come on,
Oh,
man.
yeah. Okay. Dude, RPGs, they're so cool. Anyway, our first one on the list here, Mario and Luigi. Now, I'm pretty sure.
I want to make it clear. I do not count this as underrated unless we're talking about a specific game.
Yeah, this isn't like one of those underrated ones, but as mentioned before, we're talking about a different variety of underrated games, and this one would fall under the category of you fell off and low sales numbers.
Yeah, I feel like unless you're specifically making the case for the remakes or Paper Jam, I don't think you got some ground to stand on here, but go off.
Yeah, obviously everybody knows what Mario and okay, maybe not everybody, but the majority of people know what Mario and Luigi is. I mention it though because obviously with the recent edition of Bowser's Inside Story remake, it was one of the, I don't know if is the worst
selling. It is like one of the.
Oh, it beat out the Virtual Boy Mario game?
Yeah, it beat out like only the ones that are like known as commercial failures, like Hotel Mario and stuff.
That's whack.
That's pretty much it.
But yeah, the worst modern Mario game, like, to date. And there was a lot of factors because of that. You know, the Switch, people were just like, give us a Mario and Luigi game on the Switch. They remade one of the most popular games ever, which that should have been a recipe for success, right? But the game honestly didn't need a remake. I enjoyed it. I played it myself. But yeah, it did not need a remake when Partners in Time needed one. And that would have allowed for the entire trilogy to exist on the 3DS and being able to play it.
Honestly, I think they should have capped it at Superstar Saga. I think remaking Superstar Saga, remaking Superstar Saga was a great choice on 3DS because that makes it so you can play the entire series on 3DS. That was perfect. They should have stopped there.
Yeah. Oh man, it's even stupid too because like it's kind of like unrelated to the topic at hand, but like when they made Superstar Saga the remake, like it's perfect. It's almost a perfect remake in every single way. It does everything right. It does everything good, and just, everything about it is good. I love it. And then you get to Bowser's Inside Story, and this is just the one thing. I know they can't really be compared, but there's this one thing I hate so much about it that not many people talk about. The Superstar Saga remake runs at 60 frames per second. The Inside Story remake runs at 30.
I remember hearing about this. It messed up some of the timing, right? For the boss fights, kind of screwed up the specific inputs.
It's so horrible for an action game like this, especially when it's a remake. It's supposed to be better, And again, action game, my timing for the entire, like the button presses for all the series, for every single game in the series, I have it down. I have it down to a T. And then I play this game and I have to like readjust my entire brain for everything. Like there's some games where the frames don't matter. All right. I will admit that, you don't have to have 60 FPS in every game, but Mario and Luigi's not one of those games. It needs to be 60 frames per second because holy shit, when it's 30, it's really noticeable.
Yeah, honestly, here's the thing. I never finished any of the games, but the thing is, I actually played a good chunk of a Dream Team and Inside Story, the original version. I've been meaning to finish them, I just never got around to it. I usually just got stuck on a dungeon or a boss fight or something I couldn't beat.
For which one?
Both Bowser's Inside Story and Dream Team. Both of them.
Okay. I've beaten all of them, so I can... Well, I don't really have much to say, I guess. Just get good, loser.
Wow, rude. Gosh.
Yeah, no, but anyway, aside from ranting about those games, the series is so good. I guess we should talk about positives. Like, the series, is an RPG. It provides a lot more, like, character to a lot of the Mario characters, as well as introducing new characters and new locales and new locations, new scenarios that, the platforming series and or, like, any other like sports title or just any of that Mario tackles like usually can't tackle, and that's what the RPG series is here for. And it's especially awesome for like people who aren't into RPGs as much. They could just get into this game and it works perfectly for them. Like this is kind of how I got into RPGs a little bit, not entirely because I played Pokemon and some other stuff back then, but like Mario and Luigi was definitely a gateway drug. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a word.
It was definitely a gateway for me to get into RPGs and love them as much as I do. And it's really simple. It's easy to understand. And it's one of those franchises that, like, it should still be around. Like, I know people have gripes with Paper Mario, but Mario and Luigi is one of those series that, like, no matter, even with Paper Jam, like, I still loved it. I still enjoyed what I had because the gameplay is just that solid for me. The replayability, all of it, like, all of it was solid enough for me to buy it. Like, hell, I bought the Inside Story remake. Like, that's how much of a fan I am of this series. So to see that Alpha Dream eventually got bankrupt because of that game and will not be making a game for the Switch, yeah, it's horrible. It really sucks.
Big oof. Yeah, although from one 3DS game to another, I gotta say, in terms of my sort of gateway into other RPGs, which didn't actually go far, I actually did finish Yokai Watch 1 on 3DS back in the day. Which I gotta say, it's like, Yokai Watch is a series that got done so dirty. It got dealt such a foul hand.
A lot of it just has to do with the fact that, like, you had, like, a lot of people in the West had to, like, gas it up in order to get it over here, you know?
Yeah, you had that exact little perfect gap it slotted into. And it did moderately well for, first game in the series and all that, coming to the West, like a completely foreign concept, even though they kind of butchered some localization stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when it came over here, it's like, okay, cool. It's like that one weird year between Oraz and I think Sun and Moon that just had no Pokemon game. It just kind of slid in there, just kind of made its way in there, and it had a lot of success. It really rubbed off on me like the right way. And then Sun and Moon happened, and then the sequels happened. Which, by the way, I just want to talk about the sequels real quick. I think this franchise would have done way better over here in the U.S. if instead of releasing the 2 games, they just released one Yokai Watch 2. Because the fact that it was called Bony Spirits or Fleshy Souls, that was a major turnoff for, like, younger me. Like, I just kind of started, I was like, oh, they're doing a double game thing? Yeah, I'm not going to bother with this.
That is so ironic, considering you're a Pokemon fan.
I know, but it kind of felt like, I don't know, I think that's exactly what happened is like, man, yeah, I don't really want to bother with the whole multiplayer thing. Because the thing is, I didn't really know anybody else who played the games. Like, Yokai Watch 1 barely had any multiplayer features. I don't even think it had trading. Like, it just straight up, you couldn't trade in the first game. So, it was kind of like seeing all this, like, I don't really want to get involved with that. Like, eventually watched, like, most of Abdallah Smash's, because he carried the games over here in the States. He was, like, the
number one, like, yeah, I mean, he got me into it too. But he was like the number one Yokai Watch YouTuber. I mean, he does Nintendo, but also like he was the main guy to like gas it up for everybody.
Yeah, and he was part of the reason that I genuinely think that without him, 3 wouldn't have gotten a localization at all, which is crazy to think about. But like, it just got dealt such a terrible hand. Like, as hard as everyone tried and tried as we tried, well, I didn't really try until in retrospect. And honestly, I'm still mad we haven't gotten 4 localized, because I still need to finish 3, but I bought it legally from the eShop. You had my money, level 5. You have my money.
There's definitely, like, a lot of factors that, like, made it kind of, like, end up the way it was. I know the big one, for sure, was that just, like, oh, it's a Pokemon ripoff. Look at this. It's a ripoff, even though I would argue there's so many features in this game that I would argue that Yokai does better than Pokemon, and yet it gets torn to the wayside because, Jibanyan's just the Pikachu of the game and all this other stuff.
The thing is, it's like, even when people, like, gave it its genuine credit, and I will say, the whole Pokemon-ness of it all did actually, when I was younger, I didn't think of it as, ripoff, because it wasn't so engulfed in the internet. Yeah, I was like, it's like Pokemon, and I really enjoyed it. It was its own little thing, but I still enjoyed the whole team building aspect to it.
Yeah.
But
I will say it's unrelated, but like Yokai introduced but like the gacha mechanic, the Crank-a-kai. That was my gateway drug into gacha games.
And so the blight of gacha was unleashed upon us all. And gambling addictions were formed that day at the Crank-a-kai when you put in all the passcodes to get the gold coins.
Fuck the Crank-a-kai, but also it is pretty cool. It is child's version of gambling and all that, so yeah.
I still remember getting Anti-Heart on my main save file when I didn't even know what a rare yokai was. And seeing it be like golden with Anti-Archon, and I was like, oh my god! And I actually got one of the rare recolors as well during my first playthrough. I didn't even know what it was. I literally guessed the favorite food and got it. So I still have that. I think it was Katanana. Was that the name? I don't remember. But it's got some good memories there.
Yeah.
TLDR, if you still have money in your 3DS account and it's like exactly $40, get Yokai Watch 3 before you can't anymore.
There is like 2 months. I've only played Yokai Watch 1 and 2. I loved 2 so much.
You haven't played 3 yet?
No.
I haven't finished 3. I did watch a good chunk of a Let's Play of it, so I'm giving it some time to, like, forget.
Yeah.
But, I want to go back to it eventually, because it's a good game. Dude, you gotta grab it if you can.
I don't know. I got, like, so turned off watching gameplay from it. Like, I don't know what it was. It just, like, wasn't hitting the same for me.
Well, it's because you removed the wheel.
Yeah, like the wheel. I was like, where's the wheel? That was the best part.
Honestly, I think the new system is more fun. Like, I can't lie. The thing is probably one of my biggest gripes with the previous games was that you couldn't move your wheel after the ultimate activated to block, but you can in this game. You can move your units around at like the exact time to block a ultimate. Which is like, thank you. That's what I was waiting for.
Well, if you think about it, like if you're charging up a special move, it's gonna be hard to move a unit while he's like charging up a powerful, Kamehameha.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't a thing you could really do before. But I like that they changed it so you could.
Yeah. Oh,
but yeah.
By the way, before we move on, what is your favorite yokai?
IDK.
Not Salamant. How do you say his name?
I mean, well, Slimamander is like my favorite boss in the series, but I kind of want to give it to Thorn and Yan, but I feel like that's really obvious. But in terms of game design, Slimamander is my favorite boss fight. I've had that video. I've had the video essay churning in my head for ages now. I just haven't put it pen to paper,
Well, we'll do that eventually.
Someday.
Anyway, my favorite is Reunite. I got him on the demo, and ever since I was like, I need this guy. This is my favorite.
Yeah, Reunite is awesome. I love him.
I love Reunite, and it's such a stupid name too. And apparently, like, because you have to fuse him, you have to get his like body and his head, and it's like a separate thing. And then you fuse them together, and boom, Reunite, because you reunite them. Funny.
He's so goofy in all the best ways,
but he's also cool. So it's like, yeah.
You know what actually the best yokai is?
Who?
It's the version of Slimamander from Yokai Watch 4 where they completely redesigned him to be like a human.
Wow, that's a spoiler. Thanks.
Well, I mean, no, it's been common knowledge now. He's literally a main character in the anime for it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and he also has like some crazy demonic form. I think it's like the thing with the shadow side. I don't know. I really gotta do 4 stuff. I've been meaning to get the game physical for a while.
Yeah.
But, like, I still gotta finish 3, so...
Oh, wait, okay, that's kind of unrelated, but, like, it did get an anime. Good thing you mentioned that. It somehow got an anime, and it was, dubbed, too. So,
you mean for the first game?
Yeah, and somehow, like, it still, like, didn't pop off. I'm surprised.
Well, the thing is that it was just a multimedia franchise in Japan, so they did literally everything they could to push it over here in the USA.
Yeah.
They basically tried as hard as they freaking can, so they obviously did everything. I still have a ton of the toys. I have the watch and all that. But, it's like, it just didn't work. It just didn't work right, because I genuinely think if there was one more year, like, if there was, how do I put this? If 2 came out at the correct time, around the time of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, instead of coming out next to Sun and Moon, I think it probably would have popped off a lot harder.
Yeah. What's the game on Switch? Is it 4 or 5? I forgot.
The one on Switch is 4.
Okay, so here's what they could have done. I don't know if it would have been enough to revive the series, but like, you just announced that Yokai Watch 5 is dubbed and going on the Switch or whatever, and put that in the direct so everybody sees it. Make it the first thing that you announce or something.
Ignoring the fact that this is probably one of the most continuity heavy, monster collector series out there. I mean, that wouldn't even work, because here's the thing. And I think the reason 4 hasn't even been localized is because it's so heavily reliant on the Shadow Side anime. Because they had, like, the more gritty teenage year spin-off thing or whatever, where they show, like, the future of it and how the yokai world has kind of gone to Garbo. But that's, like, a big tie-in to the game. And I think you need to have knowledge of at least the movie. And the thing is, I think Disney still has the airing rights for the dub and all that. So they literally can't finish the dub. Not to mention they replaced all the voice actors for, I think, the Yokai Watch 3 season. And didn't even dub the whole thing. So, like, it's a headache. Talk about something positive, please.
Oh, dude, I can talk about positive things. If you will allow me to move on.
Just go.
Okay, so this one's kind of a cop-out. It's definitely not, like... It hasn't really fallen off. It's kind of doing pretty well in sales numbers. I think it sold 1 million last I checked. The first game, but I want to say it's forgotten. This one's really squeezing squeezing our rules here. I just want more people to talk about it because it is going to be one of the RPGs that is coming out next month after Engage, I believe. Dude, Octopath. This game paved the way for like. Yeah, okay. This game is probably not. I'm saying it out loud. It definitely does not fit underrated. But you know what?
I mean, I feel like it kind of falls under underrated for the actual game because like everybody I know who talks about this game was like, yeah, the trailers were pretty, but you're literally the only person I've ever talked to who actually finished it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, it is underrated. Okay, so yeah, Octopath Traveler. You may know this game as the game that like every other like RPG by Square Enix is now adopting the style.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Very good.
So freaking good. So Octopath Traveler, as the name implies, there are octopuses. There's not, but so okay. The funny thing about it, actually, real quickly, a quick history lesson. So it was called Project Octopath at one point, but they kept it like that because octo meant 8, as you know, and there are 8 travelers, and each of the 8 travelers' names actually spells out Octopath. Their first initial spells out Octopath.
Why did they just not call it that?
Why
did they have to make it Project? I mean, just cut it with the fancy stuff. They tried the same thing with Project Triangle Strategy, and nobody cared about that game especially. So,
dude, Triangle, like, I haven't played it yet, so maybe there is, like, a meaning to the name, but, like, holy shit, that is the most stupidest name ever. Octopath Traveler, though, like, it fits. It works. Like, especially if you played it, you, like, know who the characters are. Like, it works. It works.
It sounds like an actual name.
Yeah, exactly. And then Project Triangle Strategy. I haven't played it, so maybe it is good, but yeah.
I don't think anybody played it. Is it even out? Did it?
It came out last year.
It did?
Yes.
Like, I genuinely don't remember it actually releasing. I think I saw it on a store shelf once. Like, I genuinely don't think the game exists. Why did they give it, like, 10 minutes of that one Nintendo Direct? I'm still salty about that. That was so weird.
That's hilarious. Anyway, Octopath Traveler. So, you can pick one of the 8 travelers to start with, and you can explore this world and go through each of their, like, little stories or whatever. There's, like, 4 chapters for each character of the game. And you can also go get the other travelers and get them all on your crew. And it's just a giant RPG with a giant world to explore. And it looks gorgeous because of the style. The it's not 8-bit, but it's like 16-bit, and then it's like HD.
It's like 16-bit, but everything is like in a. It's kind of like what you'd imagine the old Pokemon games look like if they weren't on the DS.
Yes.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
It's like it's basically like, okay, we took like the old Final Fantasy games and we just gave them that layer of 3D movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you just get all the 8 travelers. You do all 4 of the, because each of them have like a 4 like big giant story quests relating to them. And then eventually you do this like final thing where you go to like hell and like
That's how the game ends? What?
There's a lot. Honestly, I need to replay this game because honestly I could not tell you a lot about it because I played it like 4 years ago and I don't remember anything about it that well. But I remember enjoying it a lot, and I actively listened to the soundtrack so much. It is so freaking good. I bet you've heard Battle 1 in so many YouTube videos already. It is so good. Boom, 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 boop, boop. Yeah, it's so good. It's so freaking good.
I'm just pretending to act like I actively know what you're talking about right now.
I know. I'm sorry. You had your Skylanders moment, so I'm having mine.
Listen. I just want to say I'm just manifesting Pokemon Black and White with Octopath style graphics. I'm manifesting that for the remake, please.
I love that so much. But yeah, Octopath 2 is coming out next month. I'm really excited for it. It's giving love to the series again. I know it doesn't really fit the terms here, but I want more people to check it out because it's really cool. It's on PC, the first game now, so if it's on discount, you can check it out there.
All right, I'm jumping ahead in the bid in the notes so I can actually get my proper turn here. But there was a lot of series that were originally, they were like massive, but then they kind of just slipped and fell. They just never really recovered. Like Skylanders. I want to talk about this again. I am so mad that this series it kind of just had the gimmick. It ran with the gimmick. It reached its logical conclusion, and it ended. But the problem is that it went out on such a whimper. Like, Imaginators, Skylanders Imaginators, I've heard from some sources that it's not actually that bad, but a lot of people don't like it at all. But it's kind of weird because even then, after the game came out, the cartoon got 2 more seasons after it.
It's because Toys to Life are cringe. I mean, sorry, what?
Well, the thing is, though, is that, like, Toys to Life was the big thing. Skylanders was on top of the world, and hey, I've seen a lot of people, like, talk about this game nowadays. Like, Cat Icarus, he took a dump all over the game in his Spyro video, which, like, okay, haha, Spyro fans hate Skylanders, I get it, joke's old. But the thing is that, Square Eye Jack is probably one of my favorite reviewers for his series on the, the games. He gave them a genuine, fair, shake, and honest review, and he actually pointed out the benefits rather than most of the other videos on YouTube being like, man, this game was great when I was a kid, I haven't even played the last few games. But he, like, gave them all a fair shake and a genuine review. And I gotta say, from what I've been replaying, the series still holds up. Everyone looks back on Skylanders as like, oh, it was that one money grab game. And that was it. No.
I mean...
The thing is, while you're not wrong that the game was designed to make, like, like a ton of money, the thing is that people underestimate how fun the actual games are. Like, have you actually played them, Cyan?
I played Giants and Swap Force, and that's it.
You didn't play Trap Team. That's a problem.
Well, because I was tired of giving them money.
Okay, that's on you. We can just play through Dolphin?
Again, I didn't want to give them money. I was tired of it.
Oh, I have the figures. You can just borrow my figures.
My goodness.
You can just do that now through the internet.
Like, there was no point of, like, buying a shit ton of figures. That was the point I was getting onto the internet. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to watch a playthrough of this game because I got tired of buying characters when, like, they didn't do anything for me. Like, they were cool to look at, and that was kind of it. And they didn't add much to the game for me. So I was just like, all right, I'm just going to watch a playthrough of the next few games. And then I just stopped from there.
Oh, come on. I didn't pretend to have your Skylanders fight. Lame.
No?
What? You didn't... Okay, you see, this is the problem right here. My mans does not appreciate the figures. That's the problem.
What the fuck does that mean? I have so many figures in my room. I don't, like, make them fight each other.
You just had to be there.
Look, I'm older than you.
And then they released Superchargers Racing. Superchargers Racing genuinely killed the franchise. I hold that up. That game being released with just the racing parts on Wii genuinely screwed over the entire franchise because it lost the trust of everybody following along with the series. Like, I'm just saying, that was what killed it. That game killed the franchise. That's why I think people stopped buying stuff after Superchargers were like, oh, I can't play the games anymore once it left the Wii target audience. Because people like me who, well, they were still stuck on 3DS and Wii, we didn't have another platform to move up to. And that sucks because now figures for Imaginators and Superchargers are pricey. So, that's annoying. But, like, what I'm saying is the games nowadays are just kind of dumped on as, like, oh, it's just the Toys to Life thing. Ignoring the actual quality games, that the games are. With an actually very fun beat-em-up system for combat. And genuinely solid level design with some actual challenge. Because, like, I see a lot of people complain about the games are easy. My good chum, you're playing on normal mode. That's a problem. Play it on hard. Play it on nightmare. That's some actual challenge right there that y'all don't give anything to. And I'm just saying, the actual games are underrated. I'm repeating myself. Gosh.
Yes.
I just want to have my little Skylanders rant. Because what I'm saying is if you still got figures sitting around your house, go give the games another fair shake sometime. It's worth it, I promise.
You're going to hate me, but, like, I sold all my figures to GameStop, and I got $6 back.
You sold them to GameStop?
I didn't know where else to sell them.
Okay, the Giants figures you probably wouldn't have made more than $6 anyway. But I'm just saying, I have very bad news about some of those swappers, Cyan. I have terrible news.
I probably won't feel bad, but sure.
I'm just saying good condition ones go for a lot more than like $6 each nowadays.
Oh, well.
That's on you, buddy. You lost money. Your investment was a fraud because you didn't play the long game, clearly.
I feel like I should feel bad, but I make so much now that, like, I don't even, like, you know, I'm not even thinking. I sold them when I was, like, 12 years old. Like, I don't even
You were
remember.
12 and you sold them, you heartless monster. Those were your Skylanders that you raised.
Okay, but I had Amiibo and I liked them better.
Those were your toys, my good chum. Did you never watch Toy Story? Did you never feel any hint of joy in your life?
First off, Toy Story was plushies and, you know, dolls and all that, not fucking toys to life video game
These
characters.
figures are alive. What do you think the to life means? What do you think it means?
You're telling me this. You're telling this to me. The plushie guy. I have so many plushies and figures in my room. It, like... No.
How many of those are Skylanders? How many?
None. I don't have a single Skylander.
You traitor! You traitor!
He's only mad because I don't have a Skylander. I have like billions of Amiibo, anime figures, plushies. I have everything. I have it all.
That doesn't matter in terms of Skylanders.
Well, then I guess I can't appeal to your taste. I'm sorry.
Well, then what would appeal to my taste? Come on, go.
So, Henry Stickmin was a thing. It was a thing. It still is a thing, right? But, Innersloth, the people who made Henry Stickmin, they also made this hit game that you may or may not know, Among Us.
Among Us!
And because of Among Us, nobody cares about Henry Stickmin anymore, despite Henry Stickmin probably being better and more funny, and probably the series that I personally think should have popped off over Among Us. That's a hot take, but, you know, I think Henry Stickmin is hilarious. They had their, what's it called? The Mission Complete thing, whatever. The Henry Stickmin collection.
But does it really count if it got an emote in Fortnite?
It does.
Doesn't really count.
It does have an emote in Fortnite. I forgot.
I feel like Innersloth kind of forced that in themselves. I wouldn't be shocked if that wasn't a Fortnite idea specifically.
Oh,
but I'm
dude,
just saying,
I was
it's like
so pissed when okay, so many people on Twitter were just like, yo, that emote's from Among Us. And I'm like,
screaming.
I was internally screaming. I was like so mad. But yeah, anyway, Henry Stickmin is a game where you kind of make multiple choices. It's like a Telltale game. Except the appeal isn't really that. The appeal is the amount of fails you get and the amount of the funny animations, the funny references, and the stupid comedic like moments that come out of just you failing to like do anything. And it's so funny. It's hard to describe without seeing it, but like it is so funny. It's just hilarious. I bet if you watch any of Markiplier's videos over the Henry Stickmin games, like you'll understand the absolute humor this game has. Among Us kind of has it too, but not to the same extent because it's more of a multiplayer game. So, yeah.
I feel like Henry Stickmin falls in that specific area where it's like, this is that game that everyone remembers playing on the school computers, but they can't remember what it was called.
Yeah. And obviously it's not like a forgotten game at all. It's not like a forgotten like franchise at all. It's just the fact that Among Us popped off and like nobody like paid mind to like what came before it and what like, you know.
Yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah. It just sucks. And I don't know. I kind of wish Henry Stickmin popped off. Like it, and the memes that came from it too. The distraction dance, of course. You know, this is the greatest plan.
I mean, it popped off back in ye olden days, but it kind of like vanished.
Yeah.
Over the years, like then it took until like the Stickmin collection release that everyone was like, "Oh yeah, remember that from grade school?"
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna hit you guys with a rapid fire because I have 2 other games to talk about. We're not giving Mystic a chance to talk anymore, mainly because he didn't have much to talk about.
No, I have one more thing to talk about. We'll get to that at the end though, because it doesn't fit in with anything else.
Okay, cool. All right. So anyway, I have 2 cool games over here. One of them I talked about kind of recently, but Jedi Fallen Order. Now, I know everybody knows about this game. The sequel was featured at the Game Awards, but personally, I think it's a really underrated gem, and a lot of people need to give it a shot. I get it. EA did make the game. I understand that, but it's a honest to God Metroidvania with a beginning and an end, no microtransactions, no scummy business. You do need to make an EA account to play it. It's really stupid. But
Ew,
aside from,
ew.
aside from that, it's really fun. I really like it a lot. You truly get to be a Jedi. There's a skill tree and everything. You can upgrade your Force abilities. You can make a custom lightsaber. There's parkour. It's a Metroidvania, so you can go back to previous locations and find secrets and new discoveries. Sorry, I almost said the She Says intro. But man, it's so fun. It's one of the best single player like Star Wars games I've ever played. And if you don't want to play something like Battlefront, there you go. And obviously with I forgot what the sequel's called, but yeah, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order is coming out pretty soon. With that coming out pretty soon, I wanted to mention it because a lot of people are debating if they should get it or not, and I think it's worth it. I think it's pretty cool. I think you'll have a good time. Mystic, did you end up getting it, by the way?
Nah, I didn't. I just didn't grab it while it was on sale. I got distracted.
$4.
Yeah, I know. I got distracted.
$4.
Distraction dance, but da. No.
How did you pass out? How would you laze at $4?
I forgore. That's the most I have to say. I forgot.
It's not going to be on $4 for a very long time. You missed out.
I know. I'm saving my money for Freemakers. That's coming out soon.
It's $4. It's $4. Okay. All right. Whatever. Okay.
I already have money in my Steam wallet. I'm just waiting.
It was $4.
Yeah, I know.
$4. Okay. All right. Fine.
I know.
Anyway. Yeah. So that game's pretty cool. Check it out if you would like it to. Anyway, moving on though, we have another game that's also in a similar category. Square
for very
Enix.
different reasons.
Yeah, for kind of different reasons. Square Enix, they made Marvel's Avengers. I believe that's what it was called.
Yep, and everyone wants to forget about it.
It was a really bad game. It was horrible.
Okay, I'll be blunt with y'all. I actually did play a bit of it while I was on Xbox Game Pass back when I had that. And I gotta say, it wasn't terrible. I had fun with the combat. I enjoyed a bit of it, but then I just kind of dropped it because I felt like it was kind of going at a snail's pace.
Yeah. There is a single player mode to it, and it does look pretty cool, but like, aside from that, it's kind of just like, it's like, if you want to summarize like modern gaming and like, you know, battle passes, like, I'm doing a horrible job explaining why
There's
it's
a battle
bad.
pass for every character. I think that sells it enough.
Yeah. I'm trying to like sell the premise here to let people know why this game was kind of eh.
If you've ever wanted a giant single player Marvel game, no, even better, a multiplayer Marvel's Adventure game that you can play with your friends in a massive sprawling world, go play Lego Marvel's Adventures. Here you have mission-based, kind of almost hero shooter-esque missions. PvE. That's it.
Dude, Lego Marvel's Avengers is pretty good.
Oh, Lego games are not underrated. We can't count them here.
Yeah, they're not underrated. But yeah, no. So yeah, setting up that game. Sadly or fortunately, whichever one you want to say, that is not the underrated game I was talking about. I'm setting up the scene for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, also by Square Enix. Now, this game came out, I think, a year later. I might be wrong.
I think
but this game got
a little over a year, just barely.
Okay. But yeah, this game got plagued by the fact that it came out after that game. So people had no trust in it. And you could blame them, you know? Like, Square Enix was going down this route with some of the most popular, like, Marvel characters to date. And so who's to say they weren't going to mess that up with the Guardians of the Galaxy? They didn't, apparently. Apparently it was a pretty good game. I tried it out. I had a little trouble, though. I tried playing it on Steam, but it kept crashing at the intro. I got a refund, and then I played it on Xbox, and then I was actually able to play it. It is fun. It is so fun. It's a, like with Jedi Fallen Order, it's a beginning to end. There's a story. You know, you progress to the story. There's a skill tree. I'm repeating myself now, but like, yeah, you play as Star Lord, and you command the other 4 Guardians to like help you in combat. You know, there's a progression with your elemental guns. Yeah, elementals. You can use elemental powers.
Fancy.
Yeah, like wind, ice, all that shit. It's so cool to like solve puzzles and all that. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm trying to remember the story. I am doing a horrible job selling these
trying
games.
your hardest. I remember the
tried
collective groan I felt, dude. Seeing that game revealed, seeing like Marvel during the Square Enix presentation, I was like, well, I'm mentally clocked out now. I'm glad it came out to at least have something good from the partnership, but like, I don't know, man. I just don't trust Square enough to buy any like games from them nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah. Again, like, this is just another, like, you could just take my word for it, but, like, just a fun story. And, you know, if you, like, they're kind of similar to, like, despite the appearances, they're quite a lot different compared to the MCU counterparts. But, like, yeah, if you could get past the appearances, you'll find just a very lovable group family. And, yeah, they want to do stuff and save the galaxy. Woo!
Which now for something completely different, because this little segment at the end here is, I want to talk about, well, I mean, a lot of you knowing me will probably think, oh great, Mystic's about to talk about Skullgirls again. Which, yes, Skullgirls is a game that you should be playing right now. If you haven't played it, or you've never heard of it, go play Skullgirls Second Encore immediately. I hesitate to put it as underrated, considering it has a massively successful gacha game on mobile right now, but I will still say that you need to go play Skullgirls if you haven't already, because not the entire global population of Earth owning and playing this game makes it underrated in my eyes. But I also want to give a genuine, actual shout out to a game I think is overrated. It's called Waku Waku 7. You have no idea what I'm talking about, right, Cyan? Okay, you're probably going to want to pull this up on another monitor. Basically, it's a fighting game released for the Neo Geo, like, ages ago. And I mean, like, on the arcade cabinet. It's 1996. I know this is, like, a weird game to talk about here, because, like, Mystic, why do you care about this hyper-anime parody fighting game on the Neo Geo? It's because I actually have a cabinet for it pretty close to my house. I have to drive, like, I don't know, like an hour, maybe two to get there. But the thing is that I discovered this game with my friends, all of us having no idea what it was, and we became completely engrossed in the game for a day. Just in this arcade, mashing buttons, playing with each other. And it created this genuinely fond memory for this weird, stupid little Japanese arcade fighter. And it's actually available on Switch now. They have actively ported it. So you could go and play it right now. After you finish watching this episode, you can go on Switch, pay $8 and play it. Personally, I'm waiting for it to go on sale.
I don't know, man. Last I told you to do something that was super cheap. You kind of forgot about it. I don't know.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was talking to you, the viewer. Yeah, I know you're watching this.
I'm gonna go back to scrolling through Twitter.
Wow, brutal. But yeah, Waku Waku 7 is this little game that has like this weird place in my heart. Like, it's hard to describe because the actual game is gorgeous. It's stylistically very nice. Each character is like a parody of like an anime trope. Like, there's literally My Neighbor Totoro in here. There's, oh, it's the robot maid girl. There's literally a JoJo in here. It's just a bunch of these anime tropes just mashed together for this weird little abomination of a fighting game that nobody knows about. Just give it a Google sometime. I promise it's worth it. It's a fun little game. Also, the final boss is a giant ball. I'm not going to elaborate further on that.
Balls.
The final boss is balls. I remember him having a funny name. I'm trying to remember what it was called. I'm trying to remember it. Right, the final boss's name is Fernandez. Giant demon whose name is Fernandez. I'll send a picture in the chat for this, because obviously I can't put it on screen. But just, Fernandez Waku Waku 7 is probably the best character design of the entire Neo Geo arcade cabinet. I'm just saying.
It's black! Yeah, no, it's a black ball with devil wings.
It's literally a giant black ball named Fernandez. I love him. Maru is the best character in the game, though. Do not argue with me. I know he's like the worst. Do not debate this.
I don't think there's anybody in the room who's gonna argue with you, but
I know. I'm just saying it's a good game, and it's really easy to emulate on PC through Fightcade. So if you don't want to pay the money, just go on Fightcade. All right, so I think we're just gonna start cutting here because I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired. Are you tired?
No, I mean,
you sound tired though.
How do I sound tired?
You sound tired.
Does this sound tired? Am I exhausted?
Well, now you're
Does
raising
this
your
sound like I
voice.
want to go to sleep?
No, but I think you should put a brick through your window.
No, I like air conditioning, and I don't want to feel the breeze of the outside of 20
Okay, but if
degrees.
you open the window, it's technically better air conditioning.
I can't even open the window, but sure.
All jokes aside, though, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. I'm trying to think of anything else I want to add. I'm trying to think of something last minute.
I'm trying to think, too. This might actually end up being the shortest podcast we've done.
It probably will be. Is it shorter than the introductory podcast? Does that even count?
No.
No, it's a bit longer than that.
It's the second shortest.
Should I go back to the
Watch
gym
it.
instead of waiting for Cyan to play Metal Gear Rising again? Who knows?
I thought I would finish.
Yeah, you thought you'd finish. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what your non-existent girlfriend said.
Okay, you don't have one either, so I don't know why you're bringing that up. Anyway, I want you to fight the senator, and then come back to me, and then just go on your knees and just be like, I understand. I understand what you went through before recording this.
What do you want me to play first, Xenoblade or Metal Gear Rising?
Oh, go play the Xenoblade. And please.
Yeah,
stream it
exactly.
preferably.
See, I'm almost at the end of Persona 4 Golden. It's so good. Like, I'm just saying, when the game comes out on Switch, y'all should play it. Play Persona 5 first. It's a lot easier and introduces you to the mechanics proper. And then if you go back to Persona 4 Golden, you have your quality of life all snatched out from under you, and it's an experience, all right. It is an experience. But yeah, let's actually wrap this up. Thank you all very much for watching, or hey, listening on Spotify. Thank you. If you're on YouTube, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. We got our links in the description, so if you want to go check out me or Cyan because you don't know one or the other, or if you're just somebody who found this podcast and decided to stay to the end, hey, I appreciate it. Thanks. But yeah, all our links are in the description, including Spotify. If you're listening to this on YouTube and you want to go listen to it on Spotify, check the description. It's there. Thank you all for watching or listening on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, I guess give us a 5-star rating and a follow. I don't know how Spotify works. I don't use Spotify. But regardless, that's just gonna be it.
Get with the times, Mystic.
I use Apple Music because it was included with the cloud upgrade, okay?
Loser.
I'm not getting with the times because I already have ad-free music.
Loser.
Would it break from the ads? Would it break from the ads? Would it break from the ads? Yeah, right, nerd.
Loser, cringe, boomer, you suck. Plus you're like a minor, and you're cringe, and you're stupid. Anyway,
No,
hi guys.
standing here I realize.
You haven't even finished the game. You gave it the...
Alright, that's gonna be it for tonight. Have a lovely Wednesday. Whoop whoop.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Whoop.